Welcome back. Finally, we have on the couch Bob Cal. Now, he is from the Philippines, but he's based in New York City in the US. And he started his fashion career producing some amazing content. And something called A Night in Tokyo paved the way for his career. Now he's a writer, he's been published in some amazing international fashion magazines, and it's great to have you right here on the show. Welcome, Bob.
Thank you, pleasure to be here.
All right, so now we need the world to get to know Bob Cal.
Okay.
So how did this all begin for you? Fashion writing, fashion producing. Talk to us.
Well, I started producing a local event in college.
Okay.
It was just a college event. It was called A Night in Tokyo.
Okay.
But it ended up being bigger than any fashion event in the whole city.
Wow.
I was just a teenager then. So from there, I saw my potential in fashion content.
Yeah.
And I eventually, after college, I had an internship at CNN.
Wow.
And from CNN, I started producing a fashion morning show.
Wow.
And I've been doing fashion content ever since. And now I'm at the global fashion capital in New York City.
That is the global fashion capital of the world.
Yes.
And it's also a place where there's a lot of pressure.
Yes.
You seem extremely fashionable, extremely stylish already, just even your look.
Thank
Are
you.
you wearing a Nigerian designer right now?
Yes, this is a Nigerian designer. It's a Essien.
Essien.
Yes, yes. They
Okay.
call themselves Afro Luxury. So
Afro luxury. And
Yeah.
you took that. He's been on the show a few times, actually, Essien. And I can see how much impact fashion has had all over the world. So
yes,
I feel like fashion is a fusion of many different things.
yes.
You know, but for you, what does fashion actually mean to you, Boka?
Okay, well, I've been in fashion for about 12 years, and throughout the last 12 years, fashion is something that continues to evolve.
Yeah.
At one point, it was just a private events for buyers, and then some point 20 years ago, celebrities are very much involved in fashion.
Yeah.
And now, today, fashion is becoming more digital, and it's now becoming a form of entertainment in itself. Like, fashion is not something that clothes just people wear. It's entertainment. People watch fashion shows from home just for enjoyment, you know?
Okay. Not essentially because they're trying to find something to wear, but they're just interested in what they see, what they can learn, and how exciting it is to see people wear. Probably the first thing that comes to mind is when Lady Gaga wore meat.
Yeah.
On which event was that?
That's the Video Music Awards from MTV.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the most iconic, but almost infuriating and disgusting for some people. But then it was entertaining, and we
Yeah.
remember her for that. But then when you think about African, Nigerian fashion, what does that mean to you?
So Nigerian fashion is very unique. I've been to over 70 countries, and I think that Nigeria, honestly, is one of the most stylish places I've ever been to. They're very into self-expression, creative, unapologetic, unique, and stands out. And I think it could be big globally.
Okay. Which is one of the reasons why I believe you came around.
Yes,
so
yes.
You said you've been to 70 countries around the world, but
Yes.
you're in Nigeria for a reason.
Yes,
So
yes.
let's talk a bit about that.
So I'm starting an initiative called FETV Hub, and FETV Hub stands for Fashion Entertainment Television Hub.
Okay.
So it's going to be a channel that provides fashion as entertainment.
Okay.
So it's not just going to be like streaming fashion shows. We're creating reality shows, like kind of like Big Brother, but we're
Okay.
mixing fashion into it because fashion, like I said, is becoming a form of entertainment itself.
So there are quite a few reality shows on fashion internationally. Wow, I'm trying to remember the fashion model that has oh goodness me.
Next Top Model?
Yes,
Yes.
next top model. But then there's also I remember Seal's wife. What's her name again?
Oh, Project Runway, Heidi Klum. Yes.
Project Runway.
Yes.
Heidi Klum
Yes,
has
yes.
done reality fashion TV for, she did it for I think a decade long, if not
20
longer.
years.
More than that. So it is something that works.
Yes.
But in Nigeria, what do you think? What's the end game here? What's the goal?
Well, there's so much potential here that hasn't been used yet.
Okay.
We all know, as you know, you're Nigerian. Nigerians love fashion.
Yeah.
So why not take something like Project Runway and make a localized version that appeals to them?
Okay.
Yes.
So that's exactly what you want to achieve.
Yes,
It feels
yes.
like it feels like a lot of pressure. What sort of things are you putting in place to make this happen? Who's partnering with you on this?
So I'm being managed by a Nigerian management company. It's called Brendance and Crusaders. They were the founders of Mr. and Miss Nigeria International, the Africa's first mixed pageant.
Okay.
And they've put together an all-star team of managers, producers, and they're giving me the hookup.
All right, that is a great hookup to have, I have to say. But it does feel like there's a lot involved. But people that are interested in fashion, it's not just the models here, the designers as well. So who are you looking out for to be part of this? Is it from the model side of things or the designer side of things?
But it's mainly the designers, but we're looking for models too. We need people to model the clothes.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're specifically targeting the youth because Lagos has one of the largest youth populations in the whole world.
Okay.
So we're really targeting them.
All right, so I'm excited to see what amazing, fashionable designs can come out of such a competition. We have so much fashion happening. In fact, every weekend there's a wedding and you get there and you see something huge, something mind-blowing, and then you wonder why it's not being celebrated. But, you know, one thing about competitions, especially in Africa, is once you have a competition, not really much happens after the competition is done. So what happens, what do these designers get? What happens after the competition is done? Talk to us about that.
Okay, so on top of prize packages that we're working here that we can't necessarily reveal right now, I'm based in New York, I work in New York, and we want to take whoever wins and expose them to New York, maybe put them in New York Fashion Week, the world-renowned largest fashion event in the world. So that's something that's I'm sure everyone wants to be a part of.
All right then, so this might be somebody's route to Fashion Week in the U.S. But Bob, I have to ask you now about your experience here in Nigeria so far.
Yes.
How many times have you been here, first of all, and then what's it been like?
Okay, this is my second time.
Okay. All right.
And so far, it's been good. People over there are very, very nice. I think very, very generous. People here are very helpful to me. And people here, what I like about the most, they're very committed to entertainment and culture and the arts, you know, and like I said, I'm well traveled, but it's heavily focused here as opposed to other places.
I'm gonna try and ask you to compare how we are here to another country. What does this place remind you of when you think of all the other countries you've traveled to?
I would say it's like, it's a hard question.
A hard question?
Okay, it's like Manila from my own country, the Philippines. Like,
really?
Filipinos are very into entertainment as well, even though there are people who are in the have-nots section of society. Regardless of what they don't have, they're still committed to the arts and putting their best self out there. And that's what Nigeria is.
I'm so happy you said that. Because culturally speaking, we also love food here in Nigeria. Any Nigerian food come to mind? What have you tasted?
I had a lot, but the ones I remember are moi moi. I think I said that right?
Yeah, moi moi.
And pepper soup.
Pepper soup, and you like those?
Yes,
right?
Yes. I like Nigerian food.
All right then. You're gonna taste something in the kitchen today.
Okay.
We have a chef in the kitchen.
Sure.
Who is gonna, give you something to taste, and you tell us what you think.
Sure.
All right then. Thank you so much for joining us, Bob.
Thank you.
All right, let's head over to the kitchen.